Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds didn't attend the Met Gala, but were they rejected from it? I could see Anna Wintour being like, Blake, you are not coming this year. Like, there's no way.
Blake Lively just got iced out of the 2025 Met Gala, the very year she was expected to make a headline-grabbing return. But the only headlines now are scandals. From blackface backlash to hijacked films and fake feminism, Blake's brand is in freefall. Even the Met Gala doesn't want to be associated with it.
I just want to be famous.
Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds didn't attend the 2025 Met Gala? Yeah, right. And I skipped the Oscars because I couldn't find parking. Let's stop pretending this was some chill mutual decision. They didn't opt out. They were shut out, rejected, uninvited, politely blacklisted.
And not risk you on the red carpet doing something like this. So,
whatever helps them sleep at night. They haven't shown up since 2022 when they were co-chairs, which was basically the peak of their Met Gala relevance. After that, total radio silence. Suddenly, Hollywood's golden couple couldn't even manage a red carpet stroll. In 2024, Blake claimed she was too busy editing It Ends With Us to attend.
Blake and Ryan were no-shows at the Met Gala. Now, this is an event they've been to a lot. They weren't there last year. She was editing the movie It Ends With Us, stealing it from Justin's grasps. But now they didn't show up, and they have reasons.
Right, because post-production suddenly turns you into a recluse. Meanwhile, paparazzi caught her front and center at a Taylor Swift concert. Like, editing who, deadlines where. She ditched the biggest fashion event of the year to scream lyrics in a stadium. So much for professionalism.
She's not a Kardashian that goes every year, is what she previously... This sounds like a lot of defense, is what I'm going to say. This sounds like what you would say if you have to justify why you weren't invited.
She walked around wearing a feminist icon sash like it was handed to her by Maya Angelou. You know what she did to earn that title? Donated to the NAACP in 2018 after being dragged for having a literal plantation wedding. That's not activism. It's PR damage control. And let's not even talk about the Time 100 award. Civil rights titan for a single donation 6 years ago, after global backlash.
Close to the couple says the choice to pass in this year's gala came before the lawsuit, has nothing to do with it. And for what it's worth, Blake and Ryan aren't shying away from public appearances. They just did all, we know, they've been everywhere.
If retroactive guilt donations count as civil rights work now, cool. Let's nominate every influencer who posted a black square in 2020. And to be crystal clear, this isn't a scandal. It's a PR empire collapsing in real time, brick by hypocritical brick.
I think that it is interesting that her Time 100 honor had to do with reportedly her donation to the NAACP a number of years ago. And we really didn't hear much about her activism on that front in her speech at the Time Gala.
Hollywood didn't cancel them overnight. It's been a slow, strategic fade out. First, the roles disappear. Then the red carpet invites dry up. Now the Met Gala has made it official. The doors slammed shut, and they didn't even leave a gift bag behind. Now let's talk about that Met Gala theme. Superfine tailoring, black fashion, cultural style. The second it was announced, every stylist in Hollywood knew Blake was done. When your most iconic fashion moment is glorifying antebellum aesthetics, at your literal plantation wedding, maybe just sit this one out.
And this could have been an opportunity for her to talk about, activism with this at this event, but that's not what happened.
This wasn't a night for tone-deaf vintage cosplay. It was a tribute to black dandyism, cultural elegance, and influence. Blake showing up would have been like inviting Rachel Dolezal to a Juneteenth brunch. She's never apologized for that. Wedding, not once. Not even a lazy my bad on some random podcast. She acted like it was just a Pinterest mishap that spiraled.
The Met Gala was superfine tailoring, black style, the celebration of black dandyism and the influence of black style in the fashion industry.
When people tried to resurface her old SNL skit, where she played a ratchet black stereotype for laughs, copyright strikes flew in faster than her spray tan. That sketch is now like Bigfoot, blurry, barely visible, but everyone swears they saw it. And they did. Multiple people uploaded it and got taken down. If you have to suppress comedy to keep your brand intact, maybe your brand isn't as charming as you think.
Given, her blueberry slave muffins, her wedding at a plantation, I could imagine why they wouldn't go.
This is where it gets embarrassing. Satire accounts began sharing an AI image of Blake Lively in a blueberry dress labeled Plantation Blueberries, and people believed it. Not because it looked real, but because it felt exactly like something she would do. That's how tone-deaf she's been for so long. It wasn't absurdity that made people laugh. It was the fact that it felt plausible. That's when you know your brand is officially dead.
Sounds like what you would say if you have to justify why you weren't invited.
But here's the real kicker. Her Time 100 honor. She was celebrated as a civil rights figure for writing a check, literally. She didn't march, she didn't pass bills, she didn't even tweet anything meaningful. She just slid a donation. Over after the plantation PR mess and rode that all the way to an award ceremony.
Blake Brown product placement. The reveal of a new product of Blake Brown, now with plantation blueberries. And of course she brought a tray of blueberry slavery muffins for everyone to have.
And in her speech, instead of acknowledging any of her past mistakes or highlighting actual activists, she hijacked the moment to talk about her mother's trauma. Yes, her mother's trauma. And she twisted the story, made it sound like some random man was the villain when the original account clearly pointed to a woman. Classic Blake. Distort the facts, center herself, and wait for applause.
To do all that, it would have been like Ryan Reynolds promoting Black Panther after getting married in a plantation wedding, which he rightfully got called out for.
This isn't a one-time thing, it's a clear pattern. Blake Lively isn't a civil rights leader. She's a crisis actor playing one on red carpets. She uses trauma as a marketing prop, avoids accountability like it's gluten, and expects us to cheer as she sells overpriced sparkling water and whitewashed storylines. And let's not give Ryan Reynolds a pass. He's the king of sarcasm. But where was that Deadpool wit when their plantation wedding was being dragged?
I would be shocked if people around her orbit didn't demand that she make sure she not attend this year.
He just leaned into his guy next door charm and let Blake take the fall, then casually pivoted to selling scrambled eggs at Tim Hortons like nothing happened. I mean, how hard is it to sell eggs in Canada? But no, let's give Ryan a full ad. Campaign and call him a breakfast innovator, while the charity his wife helped ruin is collapsing under legal debt.
You guys knew it was a plantation. Stop pretending like you didn't know it was a plantation. And this is exactly what you do with your advertising, all your crap at times where it's not appropriate.
These two built a reputation on being adorable, marketable, and just woke enough not to scare corporate sponsors. But that era's done. Hollywood's catching on. The Met Gala didn't need to spell it out. Their absence said everything. You're not invited. You're not relevant. You're the problem.
Ryan Reynolds to launch exciting new breakfast menu innovation in Canada and the US.
Let's get into what Hollywood won't say aloud. Blake Lively hijacked It Ends With Us like it was just a Sephora collab she didn't like the lighting for. This was Justin Baldwin's project, his vision, his production, his film.
Speculation in the opinion that maybe they were not welcome. But ultimately, I haven't seen anything concrete to be able to fully cement that. But yeah, definitely their absence was noted.
And how did Blake repay him for trusting her with the lead role? She allegedly demanded Final Cut privileges and kicked him out of post-production like she owned the place. This wasn't a vague misunderstanding. Insiders say she took over the edit completely. Baldwin never even got to finish his version. Instead, Blake took the reins, slammed the gas, and crashed the film into a Pinterest core trauma aesthetic.
So, sad news, Justin Baldoni's foundation is shutting down.
And while Blake was busy whitewashing abuse for branding, Justin Baldwin's career was falling apart behind the scenes. This wasn't just a creative disagreement. WME, one of Hollywood's top agencies, dropped him. While Blake collected fake, feminist trophies and clapped for herself on late-night shows, his projects vanished and his name became radioactive. The man literally went into hiding with his family in Hawaii, not a vacation. Exile. That's how serious it got. Meanwhile, she's in Manhattan sipping fizzy drinks and gaslighting reporters like it's skincare.
This partnership was first teased in a video posted on Tim's social media channel in the lead up to the premiere of Deadpool and Wolverine. Okay, so maybe Tim Hortons are forced to do this. like, because, you know, they had the deal before everyone knew.
The most tragic part? His Wayfarer Foundation, dedicated to domestic violence survivors and social justice storytelling, was shut down in April 2025. Done. Gone. Legal fees were so high they could eclipse the sun. The board, including billionaire co-founder Steve Sowitz, had to unanimously vote to close operations.
What was it? The head of Time at the gala on the red carpet said that she was having the best year. She was having a great year. So what's the problem?
Well,
if everything's great.
They even announced it publicly on Instagram. Imagine that. $33 million in grants and over 10 years of impact erased because Blake wanted creative control and couldn't tolerate questions about her whitewashed trauma portrayal.
like, this is a smart move. As depressing and sad as this is, hopefully they can rebuild it later when they get back on their feet. You know what I mean? But right now, shutting this down is a smart move to prove damages. It is sort of a reality check of why we're still reporting and defending Justin.
And while Justin's actual effective charity was collapsing under silence and lawsuits, Ryan Reynolds was busy launching a scrambled egg collab with Tim Hortons. You think this is a joke? No. While his wife ducked accountability and her co-producers' career burned down, Ryan was selling Ryan's Scrambled Eggs breakfast box. And here's the kicker. The campaign dropped the exact week of the 2025 Met Gala. If that's not calculated PR distraction, what is?
She's out there like, oh, I'm learning so much and thank you, Time, blah, blah, blah. Oh, cram it. You guys knew it was a plantation. Stop pretending like you didn't know it was a plantation. And this is exactly what you do with your advertising, all your crap at times where it's not appropriate.
And what was in this breakfast box? Just eggs, hash browns, and sausage, literal diner scraps. Yet Reynolds had the nerve to call it a test kitchen innovation. Innovation where? Canada deserves better. Social media roasted the campaign with comments like, "You got the wrong Ryan, try Gosling."